Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. And I think this is my last mace. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it's my last one. And we'll be moving on to another class of items. The Horizons Tornado Scourge is one of two unique items that can be found in this particular form. The other unique version I've already done a video on. It is called the Stormlash. Now Stormlash is definitely the superior version to the Horizons Tornado, but the Horizons Tornado is a lower level item and can be utilized sooner than the Stormlash can. Stormlash is a level 82 item, and Horizons Tornado is a level 64 item. So definitely a big difference in level requirement there. And if you were planning on using Stormlash, Horizons Tornado might be a good choice for you as a stopgap measure in between the two items. Now, when you find a unique Scourge, it can be either of these items as long as you are in an area that can drop both. However, if you are not in an area that can drop the Stormlash, which is a higher level unique, and you find a unique Scourge, the only one that it can be is the Horizons Tornado, not the opposite, not the Stormlash. Now, Horizons Tornado Scourge has pretty decent damage at 11 to 304, although the range is absolutely awful, between 11 damage for the min and 304 for the max. With 62 dexterity and 100 strength, it's relatively low in requirements and can be used by just about anybody, and that's thanks due to the fact that it has negative 20% requirements on it. We also have level 64, which does posture this basically at the beginning of Hell difficulty. If you guys have never seen my little list, this is my little list that shows you where people, where you're supposed to be around the right level. And as you can see, level 64 is smack dab right there at the beginning of Act 1 Hell. So an Act 1 Hell item. We have a very fast attack speed on this because Scourges are already very fast items, and a 50% increased attack speed on this is definitely amazing and definitely makes it go even faster, obviously, like a Tasmanian Devil Tornado. We have 20% chance to cast level 15 Tornado, which is pretty amazing. It's not as good as the Stormlash is. The Stormlash actually has a level 18 Tornado on striking, but 20% chance to cast level 15 Tornado on striking is pretty amazing. And not only that, but you can synergize it. So on a Paladin, you wouldn't be able to. You just get the level 15 skill, and that's one thing. But as a Druid, you get the synergy bonuses for the effect. And if we take a look at our Tornado ability here, it gains synergy bonuses from Cyclone, Arbor, Twister, and Hurricane, which means that you can effectively get 9% bonus damage per level from each of these abilities if you beef them up. You don't have to put points in Tornado because the level 9 Tornado, the level 15 Tornado that's on the item is the skill that's being used. You don't have to actually have the Tornado skill or beef it up at all. So if we were to actually run this calculation and see how much damage we would be doing if we had fully synergized Tornado, we could take the level 15 Tornado damage, which is 194 to 213, so we can actually add those two together. So you just do 194 plus 213, and then you divide them by 2, which will get you 203.5, which is your average damage. Then we take our synergy bonuses, which were 9% for 3 skills. So we can just simply go 9 times 3 is 27 times 20, which is 540% increase in damage. Then we take our original number of 203.5, so 203.5 plus 50, sorry, I'll do my ethereal calculation. 540% means that we'll be doing a really nice amount of damage per tornado of 1,302 in a fully synergized form, which is absolutely excellent. Not as good as Stormlash, as we've said before, not as good as Stormlash, and that's really the mantra with this particular weapon. Not as good as Stormlash, not as good as Stormlash. But it is fast, and at 20% chance it will go off all the time. So if you take this out into anywhere, doesn't matter where you take it, and you just start bonking things, it will do a pretty good amount of damage as far as tornadoes are concerned. Now, I don't have any synergies, and I can't actually hit the targets because I'm a poor, unfortunate soul. You know, we're going to go somewhere where I'm not going to get bullied, because I'm just trying to show you the tornado proc. I'll probably get bullied here too. They're all gonna laugh at me. They're all gonna laugh at me. It probably would help if I turned down the difficulty too. Bink. So as you go along, you can get your little tornadoes off. And it works out very nicely with a fully synergized druid. Even if you're not fully synergized, the additional damage that you get from the tornadoes can come in handy, like if you're on a Zeal Paladin or something like that. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Of course, because the tornadoes have a pathing, which means they're going to come out and they're going to hit multiple targets. And, they can obviously do more than just 1,300 damage to one target, which is definitely very nice. I actually have a Wind Druid built, and I was originally going to use Horizon's Tornado, but by the time I got my hands on a Horizon's Tornado, I also had my hands on a Stormlash, and I used the Stormlash instead. Wasn't necessarily to, just simply be like, oh, I don't want to use that, but if you have the superior version of the item, you're going to use the superior version instead. As you can see, it's also purple, like really, really purple. Like, let me just log out here and show you how freaking purple it is. I mean, look at that thing. It's like just freaking neon purple. I don't know why. On top of all these other effects, we also have some other interesting effects here, like the slows target 20%, which does slow all the monsters that you're hitting. It has 280% enhanced damage, which does vary from 230 to 280, so 50%. And as we talked about earlier, the requirement's negative 20%. And then on top of that, it also, as a mace class weapon, does have the 50% off weapon ED bonus, which is certainly nice. Now, Horizon's Tornado can also come in the ethereal form, and in this case, it's 15 to 456 damage, and you would have to put in a Zod rune in it though, which is unfortunate. And this means that you would be wasting a Zod rune essentially, because you'd be better off just putting the Zod rune in an ethereal Stormlash instead, in my opinion. Just simply because it's just a better weapon all around. And just to give you an idea of Stormlash's betterness, it has the same tornado proc, but it's level 18. And it also has the 20% chance. It has 15% chance to cast level 10 static field on striking, which is very, very nice. And it also has 33% crushing blow. So all in all, Stormlash is just the superior option to this in every way. Now, as we talked about earlier, though, this is a much lower level option, Stormlash being level 82 and this being level 64. So this is definitely something that you could utilize on a lower level hurricane like Wolf that you could get those tornado procs with early on. There are other options for the Hurricane Wolf, which have to do with things like Windhammer Ogre Maul, and you can also use, I'm trying to remember, it's like there's like a shield that has tornado procs on it as well. I think it's called Storm Guild. A lot of interesting choices. In general, with these two weapons, in the ethereal and the non-ethereal form, they just tend not to get used very much. And I think one of the issues is that they just don't get found very often at the right levels. Like, if I was level 64 and I didn't have any better weapon to put on, I'd probably put this on. But a lot of the times I do have a better weapon to put on, and I don't find it at level 64. And speaking of that, let's go over to Silo's Pen and let's take a look and see where we could potentially find these items if we wanted to get our hands on this particular item. So, Horizon's Tornado. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Let's assume about 200% magic fund. We are talking about a level 64 character, so you've made some progress in the game. And it looks like only Hell options, which is a bad sign to begin with. And we are looking at Hell Bale or Hell Diablo or Hell Mephisto. Not a lot of really good options. By the time you get to Hell Mephisto, you're usually pretty far along in the game. Let me just double check my list here. So Act 3 Hell is level 81 to 83. So by the time you hit Act 3 Hell, who needs this weapon? Let's take a look at Super Uniques. And let's see if we have a good place to look at the Super Uniques, or to find this from the Super Uniques. So we've got Halls of Vaught, Neelathak, and Hell. Definitely not a good option for a low-level character. Bunch of not good options for low-level characters. Pindleskin in Hell. Storm Tree in Hell or Kurast. I mean, that's a little bit closer to the right level. That's might be the best bet there. Corpse Fire in Den of Evil, 1 in 30,000. I mean, a pretty crappy chance of getting it, but it's a chance. I can't really see farming Corpse Fire and Storm Tree over and over again for that. Sorry, I just can't. Dark Elder and Lost City and Beetle Burst, and these are Act 2 monsters. Not terrible choices. I could definitely farm those in Hell difficulty. They're worth farming for other reasons as well. Cold Crow in Cave Level 1. But look at the frickin' drop chance. 1 in 109,106. I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to say there's no good place to find this for an odd level character, and chances are you're probably not going to find it at level 64, and you're probably going to be like level 80 by the time you find it. And by the time you find this item, you're better off using Stormlash if you've got one. If you don't have one, there's probably better options for you at this point. Like if you're like a level 82 character and you don't have a Stormlash, there's probably better options. Honestly, Windhammer, I think, is a better option than Horizon's Tornado. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when we're talking about items that are not really so great. And as always, keep watching.